In the biting wind of a Nordic winter, a wail echoed through the halls of Elsinore, a sound sharp enough to pierce the thick furs that cloaked the morning court. King Birkebeng, a man whose beard had been kissed by the frost of countless winters, lay cold. His eyes, once as blue as the summer sky, were forever dimmed. Havelock, his son, a babe barely a fortnight old, squalled in his crib, a mewling protest against the world he had entered just as it tipped on its axis. Earl Gardard, a man whose smile never quite reached his eyes, a man whose loyalty was as brittle as sea ice in the spring thaw, stepped forward to claim the regency. Ambition, a serpent coiled tight within his chest, reared its ugly head. The throne, a glittering prize of polished oak and inlaid gold, whispered promises of power in his ear. He glanced at the two young princesses, their faces as pale as the winter snow, their eyes wide with a fear they couldn't yet articulate. Later that night, under the cloak of a howling blizzard that seemed to mirror the turmoil in his heart, Gardard issued his chilling decree. The men who had served the king loyally throughout his reign were summoned. Their faces, etched with the lines of a life spent at sea, hardened with suspicion as Gardard spoke. He spoke of threats from the neighbouring Jarl, of the need to protect the young prince, a lie as thick and suffocating as the falling snow. He handed them a small bundle, a bundle that whimpered with a life force that defied the Earl's cruelty. Grim, a weathered fisherman with hands gnarled like the roots of an ancient oak, felt the warmth of the bundle against his chest. He had known the king, had shared countless mugs of mead by the fire, and a loyalty as deep as the ocean ran through his veins. But the weight of the bundle, the trust in his tired eyes, felt like a betrayal. He knew what was expected of him, a swift, silent end under the unforgiving waves. Yet, as he looked down at the babe, eyes the colour of forget-me-nots, a tremor of defiance ran through him. This child, so innocent, so full of life, could not be condemned for the sins of a power-hungry man. Under the cover of the blizzard, Grim made a decision that would change the course of his life and the fate of a kingdom. He stole away into the night, the wind a conspirator in his escape. Days blurred into weeks as he made his way south, a constant fear gnawing at his gut. He knew Godard's men would be searching, their faces etched with the same ruthless determination as their master. He finally reached the shores of England, a land shrouded in mist and uncertainty, a land far enough away from the clutches of the Danish regent. He settled in a small fishing village, the salty tang of the sea a constant reminder of the life he had left behind. He and his wife, Elara, a woman with a heart as warm as the hearth fire, raised Havelock as their own. The boy grew strong, his body sculpted by years of hard work, his spirit indomitable. Yet an air of mystery clung to him. Sometimes, on nights bathed in the pale glow of the full moon, an ethereal light would emanate from his sleeping form. Elara, a woman who believed in whispers on the wind and portents in the stars, felt a chill creep down her spine. Meanwhile, across the churning waves, another storm brewed. King Athelwold of England, his reign nearing its twilight, called his court to his bedside. His only daughter, Goldborough, a woman whose beauty rivaled the dawn, stood beside him. Her fiery hair, like a beacon in the dimming light, seemed to hold the warmth of 1,000 summers. The king, his voice raspy with age, made a curious decree. His daughter, he declared, would be wed to the strongest man in the land. A murmur rippled through the court, a challenge thrown down, a competition that promised spectacle and intrigue. News of the challenge reached the shores of the small fishing village. Grim, the memory of Havelock's past flickering like a dying ember, felt a surge of hope. He knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that Havelock was destined for greatness. With a trembling hand, he revealed the truth to Havelock, the secret he had guarded for years. The revelation, a bombshell shattering the carefully constructed world Havelock knew, sent shockwaves through him. Havelock, a man sculpted by hard work and honesty, felt a storm brewing within him. His past, a blank canvas, was suddenly splattered with the harsh colours of betrayal and deceit. He looked at his reflection in the still waters of the harbour, and for the first time he saw the glint of regality in his eyes. The competition in England became more than just a test of strength, it was a crucible where Havelock's destiny would be forged. He trained with a ferocity born of newfound purpose, his muscles burning, his heart pounding with a rhythm that echoed the yearning for his birthright. The journey to England was fraught with danger. Goddard, a viper ever alert, had caught wind of whispers about a strong young man from across the sea. Spies, like shadows in the night, reported on Havelock's prowess. Fear, a chilling hand, gripped Goddard's heart. Could this be the babe he had condemned to the waves? The thought gnawed at him, fueling his paranoia. He dispatched his most ruthless men to intercept Havelock before he reached England. Havelock, however, remained oblivious. He sailed with a crew of weathered fishermen, their faces etched with the worry for their young friend. The crisp sea air whipped at his face, carrying the salty tang of uncertainty. Each creak of the ship, each groan of the mast, seemed to echo the anxieties churning in his gut. Then, on a day shrouded in an ominous grey mist, a dark shape emerged from the fog. A pirate ship, its black flag a stark contrast to the leaden sky, materialized before them. A battle cry ripped across the air, the clash of steel on steel a jarring counterpoint to the rhythmic roar of the waves. Havelock, his blood thrumming with a primal urge to protect, fought with the ferocity of a cornered beast. He moved with a grace honed by years of hard work, his strength a revelation to his comrades. The pirate captain, a hulking brute with a beard as red as spilled blood, fell before Havelock's might, a look of disbelief etched on his face. Victorious but battered, they limped into the English harbour. News of their encounter with pirates and Havelock's bravery preceded them. The crowd, eager for a spectacle, buzzed with anticipation. As Havelock entered the arena, a hush fell over the throng. His eyes, the colour of a stormy sea, scanned the stands, searching for a face he didn't yet recognise. The competition was a brutal affair. Men grunted under the strain, muscles rippling as they strained against impossible odds. One by one, Havelock's opponents fell, their dreams of glory shattered on the anvil of his raw power. In the final challenge, he was to face a hulking knight, a man whose armour gleamed in the afternoon sun. The knight, a veteran of countless battles, underestimated Havelock. Their clash was a whirlwind of steel and sweat, the ground trembling beneath their feet. Just as the knight lunged forward, Havelock, fueled by a newfound strength, a strength that seemed to course through his veins like a forgotten memory, disarmed him with a single swift motion. The crowd roared, their cheers echoing across the land. Havelock, however, felt a hollowness within him. Victory had a bitter taste, a reminder of the life he had never known. Goldborough, watching from a veiled balcony, felt a strange pull towards this enigmatic stranger. His strength was undeniable, but it was his eyes, those storm-tossed seas, that held her captive. That night, on the eve of their wedding, a vivid dream painted itself across her mind. She saw Havelock, not as her gruff, strong husband, but as a king, his brow adorned with a crown of gold, his eyes blazing with the fire of a man, claiming his birthright. Awakened by a gasp, she found Havelock bathed in an ethereal light, the same light that had haunted Ilara's nights. Fear morphed into a chilling certainty. The truth, a sleeping giant, stirred within them. The revelation shattered the fragile peace of the night, setting in motion a series of events that would determine the fate of a kingdom, the love of a woman, and the vengeance for a stolen past.